Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 15th of August, comes to you from London. And the dollar continues just to push higher. So we are just seeing that dollar strength continuing. On the short-term point and figure chart, we've got targets about 1 and 1 3/4% higher. So it does suggest yet that there's more gas in the tank for dollar to go up. Looking at euro dollar. We're seeing that euro weakness playing through. We've got a new downside target activated to 109. That's 3.7% downside. We've got 111 that's been there for a while. This 114 met. So we are seeing the euro pushing lower on that dollar strength, and we're coming through the long-term trend changing as well. So quite key there. Looking at dollar against the yen, pushing higher here as well. Above the cloud on all three time frames, still just pushing higher. We do have some downside targets on the point and figure chart in the short term, but we have some upside targets as well. So a little bit of a mixed picture there. Of course, yen being a safe haven as well as the dollar. Looking at sterling, sterling pushing lower back at this 127 level. So still bullish below the cloud against the dollar. Looking against the euro, sterling looking a little bit stronger against the Swiss franc, still bearish. A lot of again risk averse trading going to the Swissy. And looking at the Aussie dollar, sterling sitting at about 175, so still bearish on that medium-term chart, although the short-term chart has improved somewhat. Looking at Bitcoin, we see Bitcoin pushing higher this morning, so up 3.5%. And US stocks yesterday held strong. We saw the S&P up 0.63%, so nearly 2/3%. The Nasdaq was up by a similar amount, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up nearly 0.5%, still bearish below the cloud on the short term. The Russell 2000 index, the broader-based US market, was up 1%. So across the board, US stocks were doing pretty well. Slight fall on the future this morning, and the same on the Nasdaq E-mini. So very small, so hard to call which way the market will open. The UK market's fairly flat at the moment, still bearish below the cloud on the short term. And on the mid caps, we're still bearish there as well, so looking weaker there. DAX also looking weaker on the short-term chart, so Europe not looking anywhere near as strong as the US, and the CAC 40, the French market, also looking lower. Japanese market was down 2/3% on that stronger yen, and the Hang Seng index was also lower, and now making really 12-month lows on the Hang Seng, so that's looking quite bearish with quite a lot of downside targets to play for. And the Chinese market also pushing lower, down some 2% overnight, so we're still bearish on China. Looking at the Indian market, the Sensex was a little bit better, up 0.5%, so bucking the trend for Asia. And the Aussie market was up 0.5% as well, breaking to a new 3-month high, so that's looking pretty good. Brent crude falling back this morning, down 0.5%, so still bearish on the short term, and medium term turning bearish. WTI also doing much the same thing. And we look at US nat gas sitting at 2.95, so just holding its short-term bull trend there. Gold has really been falling away very heavily, so looking very bearish now on the short-term chart. Downside targets of 1.6 and 3.2%. This is the only long-term target, this 1161, so it'll be interesting to see whether we get all the way there. We still have long-term these two upside targets, but the cloud is looking pretty bearish, so the outlook for gold is less good, which is strange given all the turmoil we've seen in emerging markets. You would have thought there would be a flight to quality. The stronger dollar hasn't helped. Looking at silver, also quite a lot of downside targets here. US 10-year yield sitting at 2.89%, just struggling to get to that short-term bullish view again. And taking a look at tech stocks, we saw that Apple was up nearly 0.5% overnight, holding its strength. Amazon had a good session as well, up 1.2%, so looking stronger again. And Alphabet or Google up 0.5%, so still looking pretty strong there. Facebook back above the $180 level, so looking a little bit better after the falls of last month. And Microsoft just still pushing to this 110 level. Can't quite get above there, but still looking pretty strong, up 1.2%. Taking a look at Netflix. also just falling away another 1%, so still weak after last month's falls. And Tesla has been in the news a lot lately, down some 2.5% yesterday, so that's still a situation in play. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you.